Okay, so yeah, just ignore it. I'm gonna talk to you guys about the Asvab and the PiCAT. So the Asvab and the PiCAT is the exact same thing as far as content goes. The difference between the Asvab and the PiCAT is that the Asvab, you do have to take, which one looks better? But then I got all that clutter in the background. The only difference between the Asvab and the PiCAT is that the PiCAT, you have to, the PiCAT is not timed and it is not monitored. So you can take it in the comfort of your own home. You can take it at the park. You could take it at Starbucks. You can take it anywhere as long as you got some Wi-Fi. And it's not timed either, so you can take as long as you want. You do have, I think it is 30, I had 30 days after my recruiter gave me my access code to open up the PiCAT test. If you don't open it up within 30 days, it is okay. They will just give you a new access code. I will just give you a new access code. What the heck? All better. You do have 48 hours after you open the PiCAT test to finish the entire test. So the Asvab is cut up into 10 subtests that equal up the entire test. Those subtests include general science, arithmetic, reasoning. I got a burp. What the heck? Word knowledge, paragraph comprehension, mathematical knowledge, electronics information, auto information, shop information, mechanical comprehension, and assembling objects. So those are the 10 subtests. And out of all of those, you get an AFQT score. AFQT is Armed Forces Qualification test. So they take 4 out of those 10. Actually, I'm sorry. They take 4. They take your score out of 4 sections of the test, which is going to be the arithmetic, reasoning, the mathematics knowledge, the word comprehension, and word knowledge and paragraph comprehension. They take those tests, they add them up, and I don't know what they do with them to get the score, but they get the score out of those 4 subtests. So if you're worried about not passing because of all those 10 subtests and you don't know anything in the auto information, the shop information, none of that, don't worry, because they ain't even gonna use it unless you want a job out of that section. So don't worry about it, honey. I don't like when he watches the Minnie and Daisy part. Like, he's a boy. He don't need to be watching that. The minimum score for each branch is different. I believe the Coast Guard is the highest and the most difficult one to get into. So for the Air Force, you have to have 36. The Marines is a 32. The Army is a 31. Coast Guard is a 40, and the Navy is a 35. That's if you have your high school diploma. If you have your GED, I do believe that it's 50 for all of them, but I don't know because I have my high school diploma. I watched a lot of videos about the Asvab before I took my PiCAT, and none of them helped. I'm just being honest. I literally studied for like 3 or 4 days. I think it was 4 days straight on this one guy's video, and it didn't help me not one little bit. Luckily, I had found, I think the last day that I was studying, I looked on somebody else's video, and that really helped me. And I'm gonna share with you guys what it was, or what do you need to know, what you need to know. So for the mathematics knowledge part, these were definitely on my test. What you need to know is the absolute value. Let me put it up here. You need to know absolute value, adding and subtracting decimals, adding and subtracting fractions, associative property, calculation of a percentage. I feel like I wasn't specific with the percentages. So what I mean by calculating percentages, on my test, it had converting percentages to fractions, converting percentages to decimals. They ask you for the percent of a number, so they'll ask Sally had a sale on Saturday and one of her speakers was 20% off of $85, what was the price. So they'll ask you stuff like that. So that's what I mean by calculating percentages. Converting mixed numbers, decimals, distributive property, those were all on my test, and that's for the mathematics knowledge. So for the arithmetic reasoning, it was a bit different. So what you need to know for the arithmetic reasoning: adding and subtracting fractions, adding and subtracting decimals, adding and subtracting integers, adding and subtracting radicals, adding large integers, adding mixed numbers, calculation of percentages, changing decimals to fractions, and yeah, also know conversions. I didn't have to know many conversions, but I don't even remember. I'm sorry, I couldn't even help you guys. 3 feet equals 1 yard. Yeah, so just remember, like, the yardstick when we were in like elementary school, how our teachers had them long old yardsticks. 3 of your feet will equal a yardstick. That's how I remembered it. Okay, some strategies to help you. I would definitely say process of elimination, because they will have like one answer on there that's like the complete opposite of the other answers, and if you can eliminate that, you'll have like a better chance of getting the correct answer. And also logic, they ask you a lot of questions. Let me take that back. They put a lot of answers in the answer key that it's like, what? Like, that's not even logical. So just eliminate it. I keep having to add stuff in because I keep forgetting it. But for both of the math portions, also what you need to look out for is they're going to add specifically the paragraphs, like the math paragraphs. They're going to add in unnecessary information to throw you off. So they're going to say, you know what, I don't even know, but I just know that they're going to add in unnecessary information that you don't even need to solve the problem, just to throw you off. So make sure you're going in and rereading the question twice or 3 times if you have to, writing down every piece of information they need, and then when you read the question, just go through and mark off everything that you don't need. Word knowledge. Nothing helped me. They can give you, like, you can study words till you blue in the face, but none of the words that I studied were on my PiCAT. So I had index cards about this thick, literally like the thickness of my forehead. I had a stack of index cards that big, and none of them were on my test. I knew some of the words, but the other ones, like, you literally just have to use context clues, or definitely the prefixes, the suffixes, and the roots. So the prefixes and the suffixes are the ones that helped me the most to figure out what the word was. So definitely look up prefixes and suffixes of Asvab words and study those. I would not recommend studying single words, just because the words that you study may not be the words that are on the test. None of the words that I studied were on my test, like, at all. You okay? But the prefixes and suffixes did help me. Our paragraph comprehension, they will try to trick you. Make sure you're reading and you're understanding what the paragraph is saying. And I definitely I read the question first, and then I went back and I read the paragraph to know what I was like looking for. That definitely helped me a lot. So paragraph comprehension is paragraph comprehension. There's no really real way you can study for it. Just, like, you know, comprehend what you're reading. The mathematics knowledge and the arithmetic reasoning, I'm going to link the video below that I used to study, or that I found that helped me out, because all the videos that I watched, like, yo, they just did not help at all. And I studied for like 4 days and none of them helped, but except for this one video. I believe the YouTube name is mometrix something. I'm gonna link the video below, and hopefully that helps you guys out. If you guys have any questions about my journey, by the way, I am joining the Air Force. Really? I am joining the Air Force, so if you guys have any questions about my journey, like MEPS or my recruiter, what you should ask your recruiter, what you should know, waivers, anything, just put the questions in the comments below. Yeah. Why are you in a daze? He's a little under the weather. That's what I did to study. I just went through and watched the videos, and then I did practice tests. The practice tests that are on like those websites and stuff, they didn't help me. Like, it didn't help me at all. But then again, you have to remember that there's different versions of the test going around, and then if you answer a question right on the test, like your initial question, if you get it right, they'll go to a more difficult question. If you get that one right, they'll go to a more difficult question. If you get that one wrong, they'll probably go back to down to the level that down to the level of the question before. If you get the initial question wrong, they'll go to a less difficult question. If you get that one wrong, they'll go to an even less difficult question. Like, so it kind of works like that. But none of the practice tests that I had took helped me at all. The thing that did help me is knowing how to set up a math paragraph question. I don't know how to say that. How do you say, do you know what I'm trying to say? Know how to set up a word problem. Word problem? A word problem for a math paragraph. I don't know how to say it, but yeah. And that's the only thing that those practice tests did help me with. They helped me know how to set up different equations for word problems. If you guys have any other questions about my Asvab experience, you could just ask me. Are you okay? No, you're not okay? Okay. If there's anything else. The minimum scores for the different branches, that determines if you're qualified or not to get into that particular branch. So if you are trying to join the Army, you need a 31. So if you don't get a 31, if you get a 30, you're not qualified to join. So they will not let you join. However, you can retake the test. I didn't retake mine, so I don't really know the exact time frame, but I did hear that if you want to retake it, I think it's